My name is Richard Harris, and we're going to talk about the Patriots. You can call the show by dialing area code 323-962-1937, or if you just want to hear what I have to say, just sit back and listen. The New England Patriots have two huge strengths. Strength number one, no question about it, is Tom Brady. Tom Brady is this generation's best quarterback, bar none. I mean, you could talk about the stats and the numbers that Breeze and Rodgers and Peyton Manning have put up, but the simple fact is you're judged on championships, and Brady has won already three and is in position possibly to win a fourth and join the true upper crust of pro sports of Terry Bradshaw and Joe Montana in the Super Bowl era. I mean, he's never going to catch, Otto Graham, who I believe won, 10 championships in 12 years, or Bart Starr has more than just two Super Bowls. He also has NFL championships, but that was a different era of football. Brady threw for 5,200 yards plus this year, and I think most of us knew that based on the first game of the season against Miami that he was going to have a big year when he threw for 500 plus yards in the first game and followed up with 400 yards in the second game. He is an absolute Magic Johnson type quarterback where he essentially has the whole field in his periphery, and he just knows where he wants to put the ball, and he usually gets it there, and usually his receivers come down with it. And so if Brady plays well and doesn't turn the football over, the Giants are going to have to score a lot of points. The other huge strength the Patriots have is Bill Belichick. I want you folks for a second to think about who Belichick has gone up against in his career as a defensive coordinator. He's gone up against Elway. He's gone up against Montana. He's gone up against the Kurt Warner-led Rams. He's gone up against Jim Kelly. He has taken on the game's best in the big games, and usually he's been lucky in a respect that in all his games, he's had a chance to see that team more than once. Now, the Giants, they keep putting up a stat of, teams that have played the same team in the same year and lost to them or beat them in the Super Bowl. Well, the Giants are one of the teams that did that. They beat Denver during the regular season and then beat Denver in the Super Bowl later on that year. The Giants played Buffalo that season and then played them in the Super Bowl that year, and the Bills won the first game and the Giants won the second game. When he was with the Patriots played the Rams that year. The Rams won during the regular season in a very close game, 24-17, I think it was. And in the Super Bowl, we all know what happened in the Super Bowl. So Belichick has been fortunate to be able to go up against teams twice in the season many times and has had a lot of success in the rematch. In fact, I believe he's unbeaten in the rematches in the Super Bowl. He was the defensive coordinator for the Giants, and they beat Denver, against Buffalo, and against the Rams. Yeah, he's 3-0. Now, watching some of the things that they've been showing on the NFL Network and ESPN, Belichick seems to figure out a way to take away the things and the pieces that make your offense struggle. But as with Belichick, and as with teams that go up against Belichick, there's certain points during the game where Belichick's defenses do relent. And if you look at all those games in which he has won, Denver was up 10-9 in the first half against the Giants. The Giants didn't play well in the first half, and they came back to win the game because Phil Simms was unconscious. In the Buffalo Super Bowl, the Giants had that very long drive at the end of the first half and then got the ball to start the third quarter and went on that 9-minute drive and was able to keep the Bills off the field, but yet it took a miracle miss of a field goal for them to win because the Giants couldn't stop Thurman Thomas. The Giants decided to, take away the passing, but let Thurman Thomas run, and Thurman Thomas ran wild, and we got the break of a lifetime when Norwood missed that field goal. In the Rams Super Bowl, the Patriots decided that it would be best to sort of neutralize Marshall Faulk somehow and force Kurt Warner to throw the ball to the Ricky Proehls of the world, the not the main guys, And by the time they realized that was happening, they ended up, you know, the Rams figured that out. It was too late in the game. The Rams were down at halftime. I believe they were shut out in the first half, and in the second half, the Rams started throwing the ball to Prohl, and actually Prohl scored the touchdown that tied the game. And actually, Belichick does have one loss because he lost to the Giants. He played the Giants during the regular season and beat the Giants 38-35, and then the Giants beat them in the Super Bowl. And if you think about that Super Bowl when the Giants did beat the Patriots 2007-8 season, the Giants, who scored the Giants' first touchdown in that game? It was David Tyree, the third string receiver. So the point that I'm trying to make is that Belichick takes away your main guys and makes you throw to people who you don't feel comfortable throwing to. Or you do feel comfortable, but you don't throw to them all the time. And actually, I remember a game a couple of years ago when the Patriots played the Saints on a Monday Night Football, and that, you know, that's normally his game plan against teams that have 4 wide receiver sets to force you into throwing the ball to the guy you don't want to throw to. Well, the Saints, because Drew Brees throws the ball to everybody, he threw the ball to Lance Moore. You know, he threw the ball to his other receivers other than, you know, Colston and Meacham, and they killed the Patriots. They couldn't stop Moore. Moore caught, I think, a couple touchdown passes for deep from long yardage. So, what am I trying to say in English? Mario Manningham for the Giants has to come up big, but I'll talk about the Giants in a second. The weaknesses of the Patriots is that the Patriots, like a lot of teams in that division, don't have a pass rush. The Patriots need to blitz in order to create a pass rush, and if they don't get to the quarterback, which they haven't done a lot this year, teams have been able to throw the ball a lot against them. They don't have a running game to keep teams honest, but the play that killed the Giants the most in the first game this year was the play action pass. Every time he completed a pass, it was all play action. So obviously they run the ball to try to make you think they have a running game, but the reality is they don't have a running game and they don't have a pass rush. And if they don't have a pass rush, they can't do anything about stopping you. Now, some people say their statistics are bloated because the Patriots score a lot of points and teams are trying to play catch-up. That is true, probably. But the opponents that the Patriots have had this year, they've actually kind of caught a break because I think the AFC was way down this year. I mean, if you look at the AFC teams that the Patriots have played this season, I mean, Buffalo, you know, the quarterback played well, and Buffalo actually beat them. Miami had 2 different quarterbacks play against them. Sanchez did not have a good year. I mean, Roethlisberger beat them. You know, Eli beat them. Tony Romo had a really good game against them. Rex Grossman had a good game against them. Michael Vick had a good game against them. Like, teams had really good games against the Patriots. It's just a simple fact that number 12 was on the other side of the ball and made sure they didn't win. So I can understand why the Patriots are favored in the regard that teams feel that Brady in a stadium where the weather is not an issue, with the weapons that he has, Gronkowski will play. Hernandez will be a factor. You know, Deion Branch will be a factor. Chad Ochocinco needs to be a part of this game. Welker obviously will do what he does. You know, in order for the Patriots to win, they have to find a way to, you know, not fall in love with the tight end, but to, you know, throw the ball down the field some. Back the Giants off a little bit. And they got to do the most important thing that they do very well, which is they don't turn the ball over. They turn you over. And so, in the final segment of the show, I'm going to give you 3 words, and remember that word I just said, turnovers. And we'll talk about the New York Football Giants on 89.7 KLES FM after this.
Welcome to your new job, young man.
Thanks, boss. So, when do I get to choose my new office?